Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another episode of Looks and Crooks. Today guys, I'm actually finishing off like my wash hair face treatment thing because as I said in my last video, you can catch it here where I did my hair treatment and everything. I had COVID, so I'd really been in the gutters. I was really struggling. I was battling for my life. Okay. I'm going to be moisturizing my hair, as I said, and just finishing off everything to do with my hair. Honestly guys, like my face is very catty, like look at that. Without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Anyway, quick disclaimer, there's gonna be like a lot of noise right now because like I said, I really tried to muster so much courage through this video because I was so tired. I was just ready to sleep. I was tired, but I said I have to do it. So people are going home at the moment, so you'll hear a lot of cars and commotion outside, but you may not hear so much because of the mic. It's very close to my face. Anyway, so for today's case, we're going to be talking about Mr. Meshach Simba, better known by his acting name as Mr. Mariano Simba. This is a Kenyan case that starts in Kisumu but ends in Nairobi, as many of them usually do. So who is Mr. Mariano Simba? That's what we're going to be calling him because that's like who many people know him as. Mariano Simba was actually born in Kisumu County, in the capital known as Obunga. He studied in Kisumu, but the issue is that he didn't really come from a very good family background. His family was quite poor, and it became evident to a lot of people around him who saw his passion for studying that this boy would not be able to continue with school if he continued living in the family setting that he was living in. So quickly, the people from the church, because he also was into the church, realized this, and they decided to take Mr. Mariano under their care so that they can, help him see a better future, help him propel himself to the future, because the facts of the case were he was not going to really see much in this life if he continued to stay in Kisumu. Now, as soon as he got accepted by the church, he started staying at the church orphanage, and quickly the church orphanage really realized that he had not only a good brain, but he also had a good heart, and they got him in touch with some people in the Red Cross. Mr. Simba rose quite quickly in the ranks in the Red Cross, and obviously people really started noticing him around. They noticed this is a smart boy, he's good at first aid, but they noticed one specific thing about Mr. Mariano Simba, and that's that he was a tremendously amazing actor. And I wish somebody can look at me in this life and say this girl is too good at what she does. We need to just catch her there and bring her into this life of money. You know what I mean? Anyway, my time is coming. Amen. Mashallah. Inshallah. So they noticed that he was really good at acting, and they took him under their wing. This is now the Red Cross. And one of the head members of the Red Cross decided that, you know what, he's not going to see success in Kisumu, because if you don't know, if you're not Kenyan, Kisumu, as much as it is a very good, it is a fast-growing country, it is a fast-growing city, it's not as commercial or as entertainment oriented as Nairobi is. As the head of the Red Cross knew this, she knew that she had to move him to Nairobi for him to be able to at least, see a minuscule amount of success in his acting career. Because in so much as Nairobi is not 100% obviously that you're going to make it today, that you're going to blow up, he had a chance, and she decided she was gonna give him this chance. So she hooked him up with some people in Nairobi, and he arrived in Nairobi a few years after he had actually finished his high school. As he arrived there, he actually immediately the place that they sent him to was a theater. So as soon as he arrived, he hit the ground running. He was in the theater, he was acting immediately, and the people he was acting with were not small fish people. He was acting with very big fish people in Kenya. And the thing with acting with these very big fish people in Kenya, all of them know each other. So his career really took off very fast. Within the first year of being in Kenya, he actually got a position to act in a show called Naswa that used to air in Kenya. I never got the show, but when I say my entire family used to lose their shit and laugh. So Naswa is a pranking TV show, very similar to that show called Just for Laughs. If you know what Just for Laughs is, so they just prank public people just like that. Like, I don't get it. Like, me, if you stop me to prank me, do you know I'll be upset, bro? I'll be like, what are you doing? Like, a grown man like you? Why are we here? Why are we really here? Anyway, for him, he really enjoyed this job. He took a hands-on role, and he started even planning the pranks that they were gonna do. He was really hands-on in all of his acting career and everything. And it was at this point that he actually met a very lovely lady. Now, because the lady's name was never really exposed throughout the entire duration of what we're going to be talking about here today, we are going to call this lady Caroline. Because I don't know why, I just feel like many Kenyan girls are called Caroline or Shiro. Like, Shiro is such a classic Kenyan name, and I'm named Shiro, so that just leave me alone. Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. But let's call her Miss Caroline. So he meets Miss Caroline shortly after arriving in Nairobi, and shortly after finally getting his real first permanent acting job in Nairobi at Naswa. Him and her meet, and they actually date for the next 2 years, and everything was going lovely. They were doing romance. And you know, the thing is, he wasn't, Mr. Simba by this point was getting cash. You know, that cash from brand deals, what, to the point where he was living in Lavington. And if you don't know what Lavington is like the posh area in Kenya, like the upper middle class posh area, like the luxury apartment girlies. That's where like the content creators be creating. You know what I mean? You know, me, I'm hoping to live in Lavington after this. Please, if you have a job for me, let me know in the comment section. This life will not kill me. This life will not finish me. Anyway, him and his babe, in so much as yes, they were in love and everything, there was a little bit of an age gap between the two of them. She actually was a university student while he was acting, and she used to go to the University of Nairobi. Naturally, she stayed on campus. Well, not naturally, because some people don't stay on campus, but she stayed on campus. She decided to stay on campus. He would visit her every single, probably day, and if it's not every single day, the week would not pass before he's visited her at the hostel. He would constantly take her out, constantly buy her, you know, things. He was really involved in her lifestyle. When she had exams, he was there for her. Everything was going great between the two of them. And at the 2-year mark, things started really also going well for Mr. Simba, because at this point, he actually opened his own company, and it was a modeling agency. By this time, his girlfriend had actually decided that she also wants to try her hand at the entertainment industry, but as a model. And so as he opened this company and he got these clients from South Africa, he decided, you know what, let me put my people on. If I'm gonna eat, my people should also eat well and eat good breads with me. The girlfriend came in, she did the modeling, and by the end of the night, the company was pleased with the work, and so was he. And they had all built a very close relationship, to the point where as the people for the agency were going home, they tell Mr. Mariano, you know, take this money and hold on to this money for us. And apparently the money was in the millions. It was a check for like a lot of millions of dollars. And Mr. Mariano, instead of taking this money and taking it home to his house, he decided to give his babe to hold this money. Meanwhile, this girl doesn't know that this money is Mr. Mariano's money. It's not Mr. Mariano's money. So she thinks that this millions is being handed in form of a check is his payment for this modeling agency gig. This was not the case. And this misunderstanding between his girlfriend and him with regards to this money would really prove to be fatal. Now, on that same night that he gave his girlfriend the check to actually hold for him, because she didn't go home with him with it or anything, but, you know, she did have access to the check at some point. On the same night, he lost his phone, and the South African clients who actually gave him the check were looking for the money. But, you know, if you're looking for somebody and they don't have a phone, and the only way to reach the person is with the phone, and they have your check for millions of shillings, naturally you're going to assume this person has run away. So what these people did, they went to his house to wait by his door to ask him, where's the money? But luckily he did have the money. And when he gave them the money, he promptly continued to go over to his girlfriend's house, because by this time he had already gotten another SIM card and another new phone, because, you know, he got money like that. He had extra phones lying around his house. He got his new phone, got his new line, and made his way over to his girlfriend's house. Now, it's at this point that her misunderstanding about the money, one, and two, I don't want to call her a gold digger, but her gold diggerness really did show at this point. Mixed with also bitter bitch syndrome, this is a terrible combination. At this point, when Mr. Simba got the new phone, the phone was actually one that he used to use. And at the screensaver of the phone was a picture between him and his friend from childhood that he met on one of the acting sets that they had been on. Now, the picture, he claims he put the picture of him and this other woman when he has an entire other girlfriend. Also him, he's sketchy. Because why? Because her and him were best friends when they were younger, and so he genuinely didn't see a problem. And that's why even when he took the new phone to go to his babe's house, he didn't see the point in changing the screensaver, So he takes the phone, goes to his babe's house. Obviously now they've knocked. The knocks were amazing. And as this girlfriend is dressing up, he decides, I want to take pictures of this girlfriend, because like I said, he had started an entire modeling agency. So clearly he was interested in the whole, being a photographer for models, etc, etc. He was interested in that modeling aspect of the industry. As he's taking these pictures, Madame realizes, okay, the pictures are being taken. So she turns around, she gives him a little pause, she gives him a little nyash. She's posing for the pictures. And naturally, if you're posing for pictures, you want to see how you look after. Right. The pictures are taken. The nyash has been nyashed. She now decides to look at the pictures. And the second she picks up the phone, what does she see? She sees the picture between this man and his childhood friend that he's claiming is his childhood friend. Now, me, and I don't know about any other woman here, but me, if I see pictures between you and another girl, why is another girl your screensaver? No, respectfully, why is another girl your screensaver? After you've just come and you've knocked me, why didn't you go over to her house and knock her? And so obviously Miss Girl asks him, who is this bitch? And he's now telling, so now he tells his babe that, you know what, Caroline, this isn't what you think it is. This girl, me and her, we were childhood friends. I met her recently. We took a picture and I set her as my screensaver. And so naturally, me as a girlfriend, I would be like, so me, I've never been your screensaver, but you have decided to take it upon yourself to go and put a girl that you haven't seen in years as your screensaver. Why? I would naturally assume that this was supposed to be your long lost love, but because you couldn't stay there because of poverty, you and her have now reunited. Like, so much would go through my head. And naturally, from what it will later be discovered, so much did go through Madame's head. But during this point, when he explained himself, she was just like, I hope you're not lying to me. And she accepted the bare truth and said, you know what, it's okay, fine. I'm fine, everything's fine. Everything was never fine. Please, if you ever see a situation where somebody should be wiling out and they're not wiling out, please very much so be very, very scared. Be very afraid. Be very afraid, because that is a scary situation. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, it's like if you break somebody something and then they're like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. You guys are silly. I'd be expeditiously running to a serious psychiatric ward to be like, I know the person I'm dating is a psychopath. I know it. Me, I know it. I know it in my heart. Anyway, he shows her this, everything is fine. She says it's okay, and soon enough, the night ends, he dresses up, he goes back home, and she actually walked him to the gate, watched him check out, because as I said, she used to live at the hostel, so he has to check in to go and see her. Watched him check out, and he went back home. Now, he's reached home, he slept because the knocks were amazing. He really blacks out because his penis is like, wow, never in humankind has it ever been seen like that. He sleeps, and the next morning as he's waking up to a phone call. On the other line is somebody saying, hi, Mariano. He's like, yes, this is he. And they're like, there's a case here that has been brought by so-and-so. And Mr. Mariano is like, the case has been brought by so-and-so. And so-and-so, obviously, by this point, they've said is his girlfriend. Like, they've mentioned his entire girlfriend's full front and government names. But they don't mention exactly what the case is about. So Mr. Mariano is like, okay, fine then. What's the case about? And they tell him that you have to come down here to the school before we can tell you what the case is about, so that we can all sort this out, like, in real life person, because these are very serious allegations, and this is a very serious case. Naturally, he's scared, etc. So he gets his shit together and he goes down to the security block at the school. As soon as this man enters, they sit him down and give him a statement written and signed. So you know that that's not a fucking joke. When somebody has written it and signed it, handwriting, yani, proper pen to paper, and they signed it, and the entire document is talking about how a stranger by his names actually came to the hostel and raped his girlfriend. And so she has gone and written and signed a statement that himself, he entered her hostels and raped her. Tell me why this girl really did have this nigga at the scariest points. First of all, he doesn't panic because he starts to now think maybe it's his work colleagues trying to prank him. Because remember, these people work together at that pranking show called Naswa. So he thinks, these are just my work colleagues trying to prank me. He starts laughing. He's like, haha, guys, where's the cameras? Where are the cameras? Come on, where are the cameras? And nobody comes out with the cameras. And soon enough, he realizes, oh shit, this is a very serious situation. These people, they are not playing with me. They're being very sincere. They have actually received information that I am a rapist. Now, he quickly realizes and deduces the situation. He tries to call his girlfriend. His girlfriend is not picking. He's constantly trying. And now he realizes, okay, she's not going to pick up. So he decides, okay, let me stand here. Let me not sit here and wait for her. Let me go and try find her. So he convinces the security guard that, okay, let's go together. Let's go and find her together. And let me tell you, as soon as they walked out like this, policemen were outside waiting for him. Policemen were outside waiting for this poor man. As he just stepped out like that, they were there and they were like, is that him? The security guard had actually framed him and called for him police officers before he could actually realize what the hell was going on here, baby. And as soon as he sees these police officers, the police officers are like, is that him? And he really hears the security guard in the back saying, yes, that's him. And he's like, nigga, did we not just agree, me and you, to walk to this girl's house to go and check up on her? And the security man finally, and the policeman arrest him and he's taken to cell. And for 3 days, this man is not allowed for any phone calls. And let me tell you one thing about Kenyan police. Even if they keep you there for a year with no phone call, you better not start saying shit like, I know my rights, I know my rights. Because in Kenya, the most deadly statement a civilian can make is, I know my rights. They will show you what your rights are. Yeah, in Jesus' name. It's a very dangerous system to be living in. He stays 3 days, no phone call, and by this time he's really starting to panic because he doesn't understand what's going on. To his knowledge, this is his girlfriend of 3 years. He doesn't understand why he's being accused of raping her. And it's like, even if, okay, fine, let's say even I really did go to her room and rape her, why is she calling me a stranger? How am I a stranger? Like, even in your report, you're giving both of my names. He's realizing that time is going by. People don't know where he is, and he needs to get news out. Because in Kenya, if you stay in a police cell for like if you stay in a police cell like over the weekend, on Monday, just know you're going to cell. Like, they do group trial for you people on Monday, and you're going to go to cell. Better believe it. You better believe it. So he now pushes, tries his best luck, really talks to the police officers, and really has to talk very, very, very carefully because, as I told you, you can't be going there saying, I know my rights, I know my rights, I know my rights. He talks to them, and they finally allowed to give him a phone call. However, when he is allowed to get the phone call, the policemen also call his girlfriend, and they're like, right, we can't keep him from getting a phone call anymore. If you want to talk to him, you have to come and talk to him now, because things from now on are going to be handled by the law, by the goddamn law. His girlfriend comes down to the police station. Tells these police people that she doesn't want this thing to go to court. However, she does expect him to pay her for this entire thing to come to an end. So the policemen enter into the cell and they tell this guy, look, you're going to have to pay us. If you want this thing, this case can die right now, right here. Nothing will ever be heard. This case will never make it to court if you give us 1 million shillings. Now, this man looks at them and really says, 1 million shillings? Where do you guys want me to find 1 million shillings? But remember that his girlfriend had seen the check from the South African agents. Remember the agents during the modeling gig that he got for her? People are actually shy and grateful. People are ungrateful. The fact that I gave you an opportunity to better yourself and your own thoughts were how to steal from me, people are actually fucking foul for that shit. Anyway, this girl now thought that money belonged to him. So she's here telling the police officers that, look, tell him to give us 1 million and we drop the case right here, right now. And me and you guys, we split the money 50-50-50, Abi 60-70-70. And by the time we're done, everybody goes home happy, everybody goes home, nothing ever happens. However, the problem became that he actually didn't have the money because, as I said, the money didn't belong to him. The money belonged to somebody else. He tries to explain this to the police officers, and they said, now that's where tribalism really enters the group chat. Because in Kenya, there's this myth that Jaluo people or people from the Jaluo tribe have a lot of money. So now they now tell him straight up, they're like, you're a Jaluo man who is an actor as well. You have money. We know you have money. You have to give us this money. He tries to tell them, I don't have money. He begs them. They say, okay, if not 1 million shillings, give us 500,000 shillings. He's like, I don't know how to tell you guys I don't have this money. They say, if not 500,000, give us 300,000. He said he doesn't have. And naturally, the police officers, because they're being told by this young girl that this guy has money, he's lying. And also he's a public platform, like he's a public figure. They naturally believe that he's just being stingy with his money. And because of that, they now have a vendetta against this poor man. So at this point, they decide they're going to take him to a magistrate's court, and they decide to take him to a specific magistrate's courthouse. The thing with Kenyan police, when they say they're going to take you to a specific courthouse or a specific judge, is because they know that A, that judge is in cahoots with them, and the judge is obviously going to do anything that they ask them to do to you, or B, the specific crime that you have committed, the judge is very, very anti that kind of crime. A lot of them, especially like sexual assault, sexual harassment cases, they'll give it to specific judges that are very hard, and they come down hard on such things. So they decided to take him to this judge, knowing goddamn well that this judge is very hard ball sacks when it comes to sexual assault and sexual harassment against women. They take the guy there, and when I tell you this man was arrested 3 times within the duration of this one thing. The first arrest came because obviously of the rap allegations, and he was actually released on bond of 300,000 shillings, and in so much as he was released on bond, he still had to continue to go for the court cases and the hearings and etc, and he was paying lawyers, etc. However, he messed up because he started getting a bit too cocky. As they went to court, like I said, it was a bit unbelievable that he was a stranger, that he just walked into this place and he just took this girl against her will, because number one, there was so many records for them from the past 2 years of them dating, of him going to see her at the hostel, because like I said, he had to sign in and out when he went to be seeing her at the hostel. The records were against him. 2, not only were the records are against him, if he was such a stranger, how would the madam be able to identify him by both his names and then call him a stranger, that he came in and just did this thing to her? 3, her roommates also knew about him, so when the roommates were also cross-examined, they said, no, we know that guy. They didn't show up in court, but when they were asked outside of court, they said, yeah, that's her boyfriend. Like, everybody knew this is her boyfriend. His friends confirmed that's her boyfriend. Everybody said they knew each other. And also, there was also the pictures on the phone. Remember when he was taking the pictures after they had their intercourse on that night, before everything went to shit? She was very confident in those pictures. It didn't seem like somebody who had just been molested and beaten, etc, etc. And on top of that, she claimed in her witness statement that he had left her unconscious. However, how are you unconscious but you're there having all the full capacity and mental ability to pose for those pictures? Miss Girl. Things were not adding up, and as things were not adding up, he now starts to get a bit cocky and decides, I want to record this girl and post this thing and really remember how silly she looked during this hour. During this moment, I want her to remember how silly she really looked. He records her, and if you know one thing about court, it is illegal to actually take any photos or any recordings within a court, especially when it is in session. Now, as he's seen doing this, the police officer there tells him, don't do that, it's not good, whatever, and she takes his phone. And the thing with when somebody takes, especially in the Kenyan system, if someone takes your phone, like a police officer or anything, you're supposed to give them like 1,000 shillings or just small bribery money. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, like it's so normal. Jesus Christ. But this is the country that I live in, and it reaches a point you can't argue with it again. You just have to accept, because when you try to argue, like this man tried to argue when he tried to get his phone back, things go bad. So after his phone was taken, he tried to go and get it back, and during the time that he was trying to get it back, he was asked to give the lady a bribe. The lady was like, okay, I'll give you your phone back if you give me 1,000. And he now starts to ask why. Like, why should I have to give you 1,000? What? And during this time that he's having this argument, he calls his lawyer over, and his lawyer now tells this lady that she's making this small thing, this small petty issue, into a bigger issue than it has to be. And if you know one thing about East African women, they don't like to be called petty. No woman actually likes being called petty. So the second this lady heard petty, she took it as an insult, and she started really raising the alarm, which alarmed now the prosecution. I hope you're following the case. They're here over case 1, over his girlfriend. Now they're fighting because he took a clip that he was not supposed to take. Now the prosecution has now come. The prosecution are the people who are defending his girlfriend. They've now come to listen to what's going here, the mashtakas that's going here. They listen to the entire story, and they tell this guy that, you know what you've done is illegal. We have to go and see the judge in chambers. As they're in the judge's chambers, the judge is like, this shit is petty shit, etc. And he decides, let's just leave this thing as it is. Nobody has to really proceed from here. So the judge advised everybody to let it go, and the prosecution said, let me just have a look at the pictures and see what he took, or see the videos that he took, and if nothing is serious, I'll let it go. But he has to delete everything before we leave this room. Mr. Simba opens the phone for his phone to be investigated, and as this prosecution now has scrolled, he's seen all the pictures. This guy now takes it upon himself. I don't like Kenyans because of this specific behavior. Kenyans have a very bad, okay, let me not say all Kenyans, but many of the Kenyans I've met, when you give them your phone for like 1 second, they want to now go through your gallery, go through all this, and it's always the gallery, like mind your damn business. Anyway, so Mr. Simba has now given away his phone. His phone has been scrolled through. They have found nothing. He's deleted the pictures. But this prosecutor now decides to take it upon himself to go and look through this poor man's gallery. And as he's looking through the gallery, because Mr. Simba, like I said, is an actor, he sees pictures of Mr. Simba dressed in combat uniform, guns, Grata Taffy girl. Then he was looking like a serious army guy. And the guy now takes it upon himself to go and call the actual police, like to go and call the actual criminal investigation unit in Kenya that investigate terrorism. And one thing in Kenya, if there's something you don't want to be caught for, it's terrorism. You see, once they name you a terrorist, you're never leaving prison. You're never leaving prison. And the way they'll catch you and torture you on behalf of every Kenyan that's ever lost their life to a terrorist attack. So this prosecutor now goes and calls the Central Investigation Units in Kenya now. And the people come and they just carry this guy. They just carry him. And it was such a huge back and forth to really verify that he is not a terrorist and is in fact an actor. And it really was at the point where this man was about to be arrested. Even the police are telling him, you better pray that the people who are supposed to bail you out are going to come and bail you out and actually provide a serious story. Because if you don't, whatever crimes you're facing there, whatever you are there at the courthouse to do, it's not going to be as bad as how we're going to punish you for terrorism. So now he's been arrested for the rap. Now he's again in police custody because of terrorism over this same girl, because this story has really all erupted because of this same girl. After they finally cleared him over the whole terrorist thing that took so like an entire day or so long to clear this poor man, he's finally cleared from the terrorist allegations. As soon as he's cleared from there, he's taken back to court now to face allegations over the whole issue of him taking a bloody picture in court. A bloody picture in court. And the people prosecuting him are the lady that he refused to bribe, because Auntie is now angry. She's apprehending unlawful violence because she didn't get the 1,000 shilling bribe. The prosecutor who is now prosecuting him for the rap case, so that's his girlfriend's lawyer. They're now the people who are prosecuting him at this court. And guys, when I tell you this man has really been through the most, I mean, this man has been through the most. This guy was prosecuted for this whole picture thing, this guy was prosecuted for this whole picture thing, and he continued to have to pay legal fees. And mind you, all this time that he's going through all of this, he's really trying to balance like the amount of money he's able to use and pay his rent and use and pay legal fees. According to what he said, one trial, like one time when the lawyer comes out to just go to a trial, is 10,000 shillings. Like 10,000 shillings to just attend the trial. That's not including billable hours of how much time he took to research, to go to the university and ask for those records, how much time he took to look through those records. Like, the lawyers in this case were making money, and he had 3 lawyers because, like I said, he was going to be facing the whole rap allegation charge, the second one in the whole terrorism thing, and the third one now for this picture taking issue. And all the magistrates that were hearing this case were saying, like, this doesn't make any, like, why is this such a big issue? However, the magistrate can't just decide to throw an entire case out. Not only is his reputation being destroyed in the entertainment industry, which means that he's not going to be able to get jobs so easily, but he's also really going through it mentally. Like, imagine one day you wake up and the person who you've been dating for 2 years has just accused you of raping them, and not only have they accused you, this accusation has led to like a plethora of issues in your life. Not only is his reputation being destroyed in the entertainment industry, which means that he's not going to be able to get jobs so easily, but he's also really going through it mentally. Like, imagine one day you wake up and the person who you've been dating for 2 years has just accused you of raping them, and not only have they accused you, this accusation has led to like a plethora of issues in your life. Now, finally, this entire case for the taking picture would actually outlive the case of the rap, because the rap case actually happened way before the whole picture taking case. And for the rape case, he was actually convicted for 10 years. I know that's wrong. He was convicted for 10 years and this man did nothing. The evidence showed that this man did nothing. But the issue, like I told you guys, is that the judge that he was taken to, because let's face it, a lot of these judges are not just influenced by law in the decisions they make. A lot of their application even of the law is very much so based on how they feel about a specific topic or their views, or you have conservative judges, republic, like people who just think differently, and it really affects their rulings and how things will go in their court. And like I said, he was taken to a judge that really took this kind of shit very seriously. Actually, everybody in the room when he was being prosecuted, apart from him and his lawyer, were all women. So you already know that Mr. Mans was really surrounded. He was really surrounded. According to him, he said that it was like being like it's you on your planet and they are on their planet, and their entire minds are telling them that this is just another man who takes advantage of women and thinks the system is going to let him get by us. And he was really like, they really came hard. They came hard on him, and he was given 10 years. And this was independent of his other case for taking the pictures in court. After he was given the 10 years, he actually only managed to spend 2 years in prison. He spent 2 years in prison, and for the other case of taking the picture, it is, according to what I saw online, currently still ongoing. He's still suffering from that entire situation. And he says that the most painful part about this entire thing was, one, being betrayed by somebody that you love, and not only being betrayed by somebody that you love, but also two, the aspect of having time taken away from you because of something that you didn't do. 3, he also talked about how the fleas in prison were unbearable. There was so much physical labor that he actually ended up being hospitalized. The fleas were too much, and there was also the emotional damage. After he left prison and everything, it took a lot to be able to incorporate himself back into normal life, because after you've seen so much and been through so much, it's hard for you to trust, it's hard for you to love, it's hard for you to do so much. But yeah, that is the story of the man who was falsely accused of rape, and that led him to really being arrested more than once. I know that girl should be arrested. I truly believe that if you're going to fake a rape case, you should be ready to, when they cut you like a rat, you should be ready to be caught. Anyway, guys, that is it from me today. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.